Hello everyone, I'm so glad to be back on Deep Truth, Deep Impact. In this video you're going to find it to be very interesting because we're going to look at the meteor shower for the Taurus for the month of October again, and then we're going to look at what took place in Jupiter. Jupiter got hit back in October and September this year. Multiple impacts. We're going to be covering that. But also, we're going to be looking at a Stargate, okay? That was captured back in 2019. And that link is going to be up on the description box as well. The full video, so you can go there and watch it. But also, we're going to be taking you to spaceweather.com, and we're going to look at the schedule, which I already did. And would you believe it's not much of a schedule? And we're going to talk about that and go through it, but basically, 8 lunar distance, 10, 12, 13 lunar distance. I didn't see anything with 1 lunar distance or even a 0.5 actually. Can you believe that? Because I was told they are going to cover it up. They're not going to classify them as Trojans. They're going to classify them as Apollos. All of them. And I went through the schedule and every single one of them is Apollo. They're not going to put the Trojans. And one did come in about 3 or 4 days ago, back on the 19th or 20th of this month, and I received that footage. A lot of people on Telegram was asking me where I got that footage, and it came from a source from the Ukraine, and the same individual that sent me the digital infrared of the planetary system. So we're going to look at that in detail. And you can see through the video that it was not a meteor. Meteors don't break up and have a long tail like that one. But American Meteor Society, I'm going to have that link in the box too. There's so many meteors coming in right now that I'm not going to put them in this video. There's just simply too many of them. All the way from Colorado Springs, Michigan, as well as parts of Pennsylvania, New York, Kentucky. There's so many, I'm just not going to put them in. I want to keep this down to below an hour, about 45 minutes to an hour, because we're going to be covering not a whole lot, but as much as possible, so I can give an update on the Trojan that did came in. Okay. And like it's stating that people on Telegram was asking me that as well. Where did you get that footage? Because that footage was very difficult to get. And, there's a big difference between meteors. Sometimes they call them fireballs. But have you noticed that when a rock comes in, they call it a meteor? Or space debris, or space junk, or fireball. Well, I'm going to show you the difference, and there's a big difference actually. So we're going to go through a lot. We're also going to look at a Stargate, ladies and gentlemen, that was recorded back in 2019, and that full video will be in the description box as well. It was mind-blowing. When I saw the video, there's no doubt that it was a Stargate. And if you don't know what a Stargate is, so you think it's, fantasy, it's not, okay? I have watched a number of videos. You can go to YouTube search and look up spacecraft or UFO flying into the sun or diving into the sun, and I've seen multiple videos where a spacecraft will pull right up next to the sun and sit there, stationary. And the moment the corona hole opens up, the spacecraft dives through that hole. Now, the spacecraft's not going to go into the sun. They're going into the corona hole. And they can end up in different places, the Milky Way galaxy, as you can see here, or somewhere else in the universe. I mean, it's mind-blowing with the technology. It deals with anti-gravity. The scientists that I'm connected to worked at Pine Gap, Australia, under Dr. Robert Teller, 2 miles down, and he was there when they discovered anti-gravity. And it puts up about a 20-foot barrier around the spacecraft and allows that spacecraft to go underwater. It's not affected. It can dive into the sun. It's still not affected. But also back in 2012, what happened in Mexico was mind-blowing, because Mexico had a large volcano going off, which they're going off now, and they put up a surveillance camera to watch it 24/7, and they captured, I believe it was 3 spacecraft that came out of the center of that volcano. And then later on, about 6 hours later, the 3 UFOs flew right back into the volcano, ladies and gentlemen. So with magma flowing like that, how is it possible that a spacecraft could enter a volcano? It puts up a shield, a barrier. So even you can't even shoot a laser at it. Okay, like the government has scalar technology, particle beam weapons, it won't work on them. But it may work on them, because there's another video that shows a spacecraft open up a portal outside our atmosphere, and it was moving, and then all of a sudden it made a sharp 90-degree right-hand turn that's virtually impossible, and then a beam of light came up. So if it's outside our atmosphere, you can see it. But evidently, that spacecraft took off. So does the barrier, anti-gravity barrier, work on a particle beam weapon? I can't tell you that, other than what I saw in the video. And there's been multiple videos. I tell you what, I think I'm going to do that next week. I think I'm going to put some video footage of a spacecraft diving into the sun, but also coming out of that volcano, and the one that was in outer space. So let's go here for a brief moment, because I want to talk about something. You ever realize that isn't life strange, then why are you here? That was up 6 days ago. Okay. This was up 6 days ago too. Daily Excellence, and I want to greet all of the new subscribers that came over here to Deep Truth, Deep Impact and Earth Changers channel. I believe the channel picked up about 200 to 400. Thank you for being here. So, you ever seen the game baseball? You know, 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you're out. Well, I believe that's what happened to this particular channel. It received 1 strike, which was a warning, for 7 days, no video. And then a 2nd strike, now for 14 days, no video. So I'm going to have to be very cautious. Here in about a week, the restrictions are going to be over, and I will come back on Earth Changers channel. So, if you haven't watched What If a Mega Tsunami Takes Place or happens in La Palma, I suggest you watch that one. It's up to about 15,000 views. Very educational. Only a little bit of misunderstanding, but about 99% of the people watched the video and understood what I was getting at. So I'm going to clear it up right here. If a wave is 200 feet, it will go inland to it is 200 feet above sea level, and then it will stop and go back. So that's basically the rule of thumb. So let's look at the Taurus debris field. So here we are, and look at the top left corner. If you can see it, may be a little blurry, kind of small writing, but it goes out for the next 10 years. And the Taurus debris field is that right there, and then planet Earth is in the blue orbit. So there's 1 year. Watch again. That's another year. So that's how many meteors is coming in this year, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite a bit, actually. There was a lot last year. I know me and an individual and his son from Texas was out by the teepee, and we counted about 130, 150 in less than 2 hours. So a lot of them is coming in. I'm going to have the link to America Meteor Society. I want you to get involved if you want to see the meteors. There's so many video footages over there. Some of them are very short, just 30 seconds, and another 30 or 40 seconds, and then another one, and another one, another one. And I'm just not going to put all of that in here. You can go there yourself. But we are going to look at something very interesting, what happened to Jupiter. The month of October and September, Jupiter got hit multiple times. And we're going to listen to briefly a news station that's going to talk about it briefly. So I was told about 17 years ago when I got into the planetary system research to keep my eye on the outer planets of our solar system. They're going to get affected first. They're going to get impact. So Jupiter is known for impacts. If you remember what happened back in 94, I believe, with Gene Shoemaker, they captured the images. They knew it was going to hit Jupiter, and they made a video coverage of it. And Gene Shoemaker was deleted along with Dr. Robert Harrington, because they signed a disclosure agreement and they violated it 3 times. And they was going to do a conference in Colorado Springs, and that's what got him in trouble. But let's check out this footage from the news and see what they have to say.
A couple of things to tell you about the planet Jupiter tonight. A huge meteor or comet appears to have slammed into the massive failed star. So big, an amateur stargazer in Texas caught it with a backyard telescope and a camera. Watch the bottom left of your screen. The bright white flash is believed to be the impact. And a much larger telescope, the Hubble, just snapped this intense, vivid portrait of the planet that shows its famous great red spot.
So here's the illustration of what took place when Gene Shoemaker captured it. And this is back in 94 or 97, somewhere around that time. But I remember it was really amazing what took place. It was all over the television news. And they estimated 53,000 degrees is what happened when it hit, and then the speed and the kilometers. So it was very, very large. And that's the crater. And as you can see in these images, these is time lapse. But Jupiter is king planet. It's been known to capture comets and to break them up because the orbit is very powerful, and when it pulls them in, then they compress and break up. So this was captured in September. Now on this illustration here, you can see the shadow of the moon on the left side, and then the impact is right there on the right side, almost in the middle. So they are getting hit, and they will continue to get hit. So that's the moon. There's the shadow, okay? And I could get no information on the size of it, of course, or how fast it came in, but that's it right there, the alignment. And then we're going to go to another image where you can see it with a different filter. And then you can see it right there. That's another one. That one occurred in October. So Jupiter is getting hit. And it will continue to get hit. That's the impact plume. So there's been a number of times that Jupiter's been hit. And if something like that would hit the Earth, ladies and gentlemen, it'd be over. That's Gene Shoemaker right there before they deleted him. It's pretty sad. But we're going to go to October the 22nd, spaceweather.com, and I'm going to show you the schedule. Now, I don't see anything. Okay, this is the 23rd. But I don't see anything that's significant enough to be concerned about. It's just not there. Okay, it's not. They're not going to tell us, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, 14 lunar distance, 17 lunar distance, 13.9. You know, they're just not going to tell us, and that's very sad. I believe that they're going to cover themselves. So here's the image. Now you can see that's not a meteor. That's a rock. You can see how it's breaking up, and right there, the compression, right there in the front. That's not a meteor. And you can see the smoke coming off of it. A lot of that is like a vapor trail. It's really not smoke, it's a vapor trail. But people call it smoke. And what causes the vapor trail is because of the cool atmosphere and the intense heat, similar to a contrail. And there you go, it exploded right there. Meteors are going to burn up. Most of them do. That is not a meteor, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it right there. And I'm going to stop it. You can see it right there as well. Now this was captured on a cell phone, so the video quality is not going to be that good. But you can see how it's breaking up. And you can see how it lit up when it exploded. There you go, it exploded into 3 different pieces right there. So I believe that's the Trojan, one of them. Now you can see it all breaking up right there. So you can't get information on something like this. It's just Jet Propulsion Laboratories is not going to have it. Now I'm going to bring it in again, and I'm going to get a little closer. But you can see it right there. That's not a meteor, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone can see that. A meteor would just be one ball of fire, and that's it, not multiple. Because the composition of a rock, what happens is once the intense heat and it drops into the atmosphere, it compresses that rock, and that causes the explosion. And they usually will break up if they're about 30 feet in diameter and down, they would burn up. But to break up, that could be 40 to 50 feet right there. We don't know because of the depth perception. We don't know. It could have been 75 feet. I don't believe it was 100 feet. But like I say, it's hard to tell because the images coming from the recorder, you don't know how far away it is. It could have been, 20 miles or 50 miles, you just don't know. But you can see the explosion. That's not a meteor. That's a rock, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe here in the next week or two, it's going to be interesting because the majority of them's coming in November and December, and maybe even parts of January. Now, this is the only recording, I believe, that was captured. If not, there'd be 3 or 4 different angles, and they're just not there. It's not out there. So evidently, this must have been in a remote location, probably late at night, and someone caught it. But there's the front of it. You can see it's already breaking up. Meteors, they burn up. When rocks come in, they compress and they explode. But you can see where it's breaking up in pieces. There it is. So that's the first and only Trojan of this year. And I was lucky to get this one. You can see the intense heat. And now the final breakup of the rock. So we're going to move on now. We're going to look at this Stargate. And I'm going to take you to the movie clip from Stargate, the trailer, so you can watch that and get some kind of idea before you look at these images, so you can come up with it yourself. It's really amazing because this movie came out years and years and years ago. And then this was recorded back in 2019. Isn't life strange? And if you understand a portal or Stargate, entities can come in, ladies and gentlemen. So let's check out the movie clip.
It has been buried for thousands of years. A mystery. A secret. A threshold to the future.
Where'd you find this? I've never seen anything like this.
One man will break the code and open the door.
Well, this should read Stargate. That was in front of us the whole time.
The other will lead the way.
Why are you here?
I'm here in case you succeed.
Jackson's identified the 7th symbol.
Backup storage, reserve power, on.
What is it?
It's your Stargate.
We've opened a doorway to a world we know nothing about.
Beam has locked itself onto a point somewhere in the Kalium galaxy.
It's on the other side of the known universe.
Your turn now.
They prepared for danger.
Begin final evacuation.
They expected the unknown.
Stabilizing system.
Initiated commencement sequence.
But they could never have imagined this.
shoot anything that comes down that ramp. Your job here is to realign the Stargate. Can you do that or not? I can't. What the hell is going on? My orders were simple. Track down signs of any possible danger. Well, I found some. I can't make it work without the 7th symbol.
We have to abandon base down!
You got 7 minutes.
Now, the most amazing discovery of our time
Jackson, wait for me.
is about to become the most extraordinary adventure of all time. Kurt Russell, James Spader, Jay Davidson. Stargate. A Roland Emmerich film.
Well, we're going to go straight to the images. That right there is a lens flare. And of course, this is the sun. And this was shot about 11 a.m. in the morning from a woman in California. So keep your eye, the sun, the lens flare, and the object is going to appear on the left side. So there it is, just a few seconds later, this showed up. And as you can see, the circumference and the light is shining on the edge of it. Now this is not fake. I've got the link and it's in the description box. You can watch the whole video. There's the lens flare. And this occurred back in 2019. Now I blew it up so you could see what I'm talking about. There's the circumference, lens flare. These are symbols or characteristics. And what I mean by that, instead of saying one word, they can present it in an hour to 2-3 hours in one characteristic of a language to give you the message. There's the lens flare. Okay. Cloud formations, the sun, lens flare. But you can see right there, the edge is appearing by the light from the sun, and you can see the difference in the cloud formation. This is just a few seconds, probably 10-15 seconds. I couldn't tell you, could be a minute. But most of them have 9 locking mechanisms that lock the Stargate. You have to unlock it in order to enter. And you can see the edges right there. I mean, it's obvious. Lens flare. So there's the lens flare right there. And you can see the cloud formations. But right there you can see there's something right there. And those are the characteristics, the keys to understand how to unlock it. And there's 9 mechanisms to unlock it, and it has to be done perfectly, just like in the movie. And once you can unlock it, then you can enter or you can exit. Now the contrast has been changed so you can see it a little better, but you can see them right there. Those are characteristics or symbols. Lens flare. Now this image here, you can definitely see it. That's the lens flare. Okay. But you can see the sun was shining a reflection on it. So the Stargate did appear. And like I stated before, entities can come through that Stargate. Or advanced civilization. And there's always 9 keys. 9 keys. Interesting number. Here's the symbols or the characteristics. Those could deal with constellations, and I will show you here in a minute which one illustration shows constellations. So basically, whoever has or owns this particular Stargate has these symbols right here to tell you where they're from, their purpose. And you can see them right there. Right? Now in this image, we're going to go back because I think this is the best image to see it. But you can see the light shining on the edge of the ring or the circumference. This is another good image. But you can see it, can't you? That's an edge. And the images, the keys, or looks like it's lifted above the surface actually. Now in this illustration here, a lot of people believe that these are what is called different areas in the universe, constellations, the stars, where they're from, and they're basically, you know, a language that we don't know. They're highly advanced civilizations, of course. But you can see something right there. They could be the keys to enter, or they could be the constellations where they're from. When I came across this back in 2019, I was fully amazed. I was like, wow, there it is. You know. But there's the characteristics, or the keys, or the constellations. I mean, it's mind-blowing actually, when you think about it. So basically, it's a circumference ring with an inner track of 39 symbols representing the star constellation, probably where the individuals are from. Capability of sending people or objects hundreds of thousands of light years interstellar from other parts of the universe. And then basically a Stargate, you know, from what people were saying, could be a superconductor capability or harnessing power with a wide range of energy sources, especially electricity. The inner track is a safety feature, is what some people believe. But when the gate is open, it is locked until whoever owns this gate can enter. Other extraterrestrials are not permitted to enter the gate. The gate is open, the gate is closed. But something came through back in 2019, ladies and gentlemen, and it's pretty creepy for all of the entities that are upon the earth right now. And I'm not going to get into that. But there you have it. Zoom in a little bit and you can see there's something there. This is not fake. This is not Photoshop. I'm a photographer. There's different programs you can add to see if it's pasted into it. And it wasn't. But something did come through. And as you know, what occurred September the 23rd, 2017, 2 years before this came out, the 7-year tribulations. So could it have been a negative entity? We don't know. We know that the earth is upon darkness right now. With all of the negativity that is coming in. These advanced civilizations are here. And the negative entities are here. So it's kind of creepy, really. Once you look at it and think about it, it's mind-blowing. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. There is no denial what took place back in 2019. So I'd like to hear your comments. I'd like to read your comments and hear your thoughts in writing to see what you think it is. But now we're going to go here. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much happening upon the earth right now. And there's a lot going on, so much. I have never seen it like this in my entire life. But I have an important announcement to make, and I'm glad you made it this far. I am connected with a video production company that is called Avatar Video Productions. And I'm going to treat you to the opening of a series of videos that will not be presented on this platform. It won't be on Deep Truth, Deep Impact, and it definitely won't be on Earth Changers channel. It will have a link that will take you to a link. And once you go to that link, it's going to take you to another link. That's right. And it's going to take you to a vault. And you have to sign in. And once you sign in, then you're there. And you may or may not be able to share the videos because they're very controversial, very sensitive. So here's the introduction. That's all I can tell you here. The real precursor. It's a catalyst that leads into another step or process that goes into another and another. That's all I can tell you. So when the video series begins next week in the primary channel, Earth Changers channel is back up, I may put the short video that will take you to the link, and it will take you to another link, and then you will have the right to sign in on Patreon. That will guide you into the series. That is very critical to understand the reality that we're currently living in. And it will be very, very detailed as long as the videos can stay up. And I can't tell you how long, because a lot of this information is being deleted every day. So I just want to share that with everyone, and I hope everyone on this channel, the link will be on Deep Truth, Deep Impact, and Earth Changers channel. It will be a very, very short video, and it will go into detail, and it may be the introduction as well. Then it will go into detail, and it will guide you to the channel that will guide you to another channel. We have to do this because it's a very sensitive material, it's very controversial, and I can't even tell you what it's about other than the current events that are taking place. I can give you an insight. What is the main subject throughout the world right now? Mm-hmm. That's right. The subjects that are going on and the events that are going on is connected with your DNA. And that's as far as I can go here. But I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to cross a threshold that is going to change our reality as a human civilization like never before. It's already started. It started at the beginning of time, actually. And I'm not going to go into detail about that. But it seems that certain entities and negative extraterrestrials want to destroy the DNA that the creator of this vast universe gave us as a blessing. The ability to come together with a significant other in marriage and create an offspring, life, with a soul. And certain entities want your soul, and certain entities don't want your soul. They want your container, your body. And another, the most negative entity, which I am not going to mention. I believe you can read between the lines about the little red dragon with a pitchfork in its tail. That is real. So the videos are going to cover every aspect that you can possibly imagine is very critical. And I'll advise everyone to go there, where you should be. But be safe, everyone. Please continue in prayer and be strong. This is not the time to go on a spiritual diet. I guarantee it, it's not. This is the time to put the full armor of the Heavenly Father on and His beautiful Son, Yeshua. Much love, everyone, with many blessings of love and understanding. And may the Heavenly Father continue to watch over you and your loved ones. And thank you for your love and your compassion. Without love, there's no future. God bless everyone.